Hey everybody, just getting ready to take this thing in for its first oil change. It has a little over 5,000 miles on it, and I figured this would be a good opportunity to do a little review video on what it's like to actually own a 2023 Roush F-150. I don't know that I've ever seen anyone that's actually owned one of these do a review on it that wasn't like sponsored probably by somebody or something, but this is just going to be my honest review of it, of the good things, the bad things, the things I like, the things I don't like. And like I said, I have a little over 5,000 miles on it. I've owned it for a few months now, and I'm going to go through what the experience of owning something like this is. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, we are back from the dealership getting the first oil change on this thing. Like I said earlier, I got a little over 5,000 miles on it, and I'm going to do a little bit of a review on it. It might be a little bit longer than most of my videos, and if you're not interested or aren't looking to buy a Roush F-150 and this isn't your cup of tea, I apologize, but I'm doing this for the people that are kicking around the idea of maybe buying one of these versus just a regular F-150. And I'm going to go through what I like about it. Well, I should say to start off that I used to have a 2017 Roush F-150. It was lithium gray, and I love that truck, man. I had it for almost 6 years before a tree fell on it, and then I got this one. And I'm going to go through the differences between that one and this one, and what I like about this one over that one, and what I dislike about this one over that one. And then I'm going to go through also things that that are kind of a wash. Like, I don't like them more. I like some things more, some things like it's kind of a wash on some things. And I'm going to say too that most things about this truck that I either like or dislike are not anything to do with the Roush packages or Roush package, although a couple items are. But I'll go through it all and just give my honest review. 5,000 miles. I think I got this thing back in April, so what is that, 5 months, 6 months? I don't know how long I've had it, but I'm going to give an honest just review of what the experience is like. So I'm going to start with the dislikes, and then go on to the things I'm kind of impartial to that are just different, and then I'm going to go on to the things I like. So one thing I dislike, while it is still pretty awesome, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed with the exhaust on it. Only because the exhaust on my 2017 was a little more aggressive sounding, I think. This one it just sounds smoother. It doesn't, when you start it, it doesn't have the pop that my old one did. I remember my 2017, when I started it a couple times next to another car. When it started, it was so aggressive, it would go like that. And it would actually set off people's car alarms that were parked next to me. And this one just doesn't have that. And that is one thing, and that is part of the Roush package. And I don't want to say I'm disappointed with it, but I don't like it as much. I just don't. I wish it sounded more aggressive. And especially since I have the active exhaust on this, and I can tone the exhaust note down by hitting a button in there, which is part of the likes. I'll get to that. But yeah, just the exhaust isn't quite as aggressive, especially in idle. When you really get on this thing, I think the note is very similar to the 2017. But just idle and driving at reasonable RPMs in general, it's less aggressive sounding. And to me, that's a little bit of a dislike. And now another thing that is part of the Roush package that is a little bit of a dislike are the running lights. And while I do love the running lights on this thing, they're on all four corners of the truck and on the grill, and it even has, unlike the 2017, it has 3 marker lights on the back there that are pretty cool. But the thing that I don't like about them is on my 17, they were always on. If the truck was running, all those marker lights were on. And now, if you, on a day like today, they might be on because it's kind of dark out. But yeah, see, if you just turn them on, if you turn the lights on automatic, the running lights don't stay on. And for whatever reason, the way they're wired in on this one, you have to have the running lights on to have the marker lights and the grill lights on, which I like the other one because you just turned it on and they worked. Another thing on the dislike thing is I just have the regular mirrors on this thing, and my 2017 had the great big tow mirrors on it like you'd see on a 250, and I think you can get them as an option on this thing, but yeah, I just kind of miss having my big mirrors. Not only did I think they looked cool, but they were very functional. Like a lot more, you know, when you're looking off in the rear or in the side mirror there, they were just better, I think, in just about every respect. Another thing I dislike is on my old truck on the 17s, and this is again not a Roush feature but just a newer F-150 feature, is to put it, and I like to drive this thing in manual, so you actually have to hit that button to put it in manual, where in the 17 it actually had an M, so you could drop it down into M. So in this one you have to get it down to drive, and then you have to hit the M button, and then that puts it in manual, and then you can toggle through the gears by hitting the button on the side of the shifter there, which I do like driving this thing in manual. I don't know why. It just, you know, it's more like driving a standard car or whatever instead of an automatic. It gives you a little more feel with the vehicle. Alrighty, here's another thing I dislike. So the 17s, if you want to go between like defrost and having the air come out of the vents or down below, on the old one you just hit the button. On this one, and maybe this is a setup thing, I don't know, but right now when you do that, you hit the button and then it pops up on the screen, and then you have to select it like at the feet level, turn the vents off, you know what I mean? And if the screen isn't working, you can't do it. But they might have it set up so you can toggle through it on that, but as far as I know, you have to go through the screen here. And I guess I'm old school. I don't care for that. I'd rather have just the button down here you push, and that's, you know, personal preference, I guess. One more thing that I don't like as much as my 2017 is the light bar. I had this installed by Ford aftermarket, and it is very bright and it does a good job. We can go flip it on and look at it, but the way the 17, so this is my light button here. Oh, that's another thing I don't care for, is that's where the on-off button is for it. And I used to have them here in this little centerpiece, and I liked having them there by the shifter because it was easier to access the button. But and like I said, the off-road light is very bright, but my old the way the old grill worked is it had two cutouts and then one big cutout in the middle. So I had two lights on the side and then one in the middle, and they just put off more light. And for off-road use or being on a back road at 2 in the morning, the lights on my 17 were just brighter and better, and you could turn on either the 2 or the 1 or all 3 of them, and I just liked having that better. So yeah, that's one thing, and that does put off a lot of light. I do like it. It's better in off-road conditions or dark conditions than not having it, but it just isn't quite as robust as the other setup that I had. And this is another thing that I don't care for is, so even though this looks like a tailgate like hinge, it actually has a button under there. If you can see that, you got to hit this button. It's right here to drop the tailgate. So you hit the button. See, that's why I don't like it. Otherwise you could just grab it. Sometimes I think you have to hit it and kind of hold it down. Oh, or maybe pull out on it and then it drops down. I don't know. And that's cool. And I do love, and that's part of the things that I think I have on the like, or maybe it's a wash thing, is like you can hit the button on the keys and it'll drop the tailgate for you. But I'd rather just have a old school, like grab the thing and instead of hitting a button up under there. That's just me. And then maybe the only other thing on the dislike thing is the cost, which I guess the cost is, I don't know. These things are pricey. I think the sticker's like 20 grand over a normal XLT package, which I guess on some respects makes it more exclusive to have, which is kind of cool. But these things are stupid expensive. In my opinion, there's nothing worth, you know, the price that you have to pay for one of these. But you don't see them very often because they are pricey, so that's kind of cool. But they're stupid expensive, and I think just the truck itself before the Roush package was just about as much as my 2017 was with the Roush package, if that makes any sense. All right, and then to the things that are kind of a wash. And this one's kind of a wash to me, I guess, is the color. My old 2017 truck was lithium, what they called lithium gray, and it was a dark, it almost looked black in some light. In some light it looked like a dark charcoal gray, but I loved that color. And this was my favorite color out of the 2023s, was this, this is what they call avalanche gray. And it is a lot lighter than the lithium gray, but it's still cool. It's different. I don't like it. I think initially I didn't like it as much, but it's definitely grown on me. And yeah, I do like it. I do like it. It's just different. I was very partial to that lithium gray and the avalanche gray. It's grown on me. It's grown on me. It's pretty sharp. I can't say too much bad about it. It's kind of a wash. I like it just about as much, to be honest. All right, next thing is kind of a wash, and I didn't like it as much at first, but is the 10-speed transmission. My old truck had the 6-speed transmission, and this one's got the 10-speed transmission. So you can see right there, you're going through all 10 of them, where, you know, my old one was geared different. And at first I didn't like it as much, but it's kind of grown on me. I don't like it better or less. It's just different. And I think I do get a little bit better mileage. 15.6 is what I've been averaging, and that's getting on it and little road trips and driving it to work. And I think the other one, my 17, with the 6-speed transmission and maybe a little more aggressive tires, I was getting closer to the 15 range. So it's kind of a wash. I don't like it better or worse, or it's just different. And inside here, and this is pretty trivial, but my old one used to have the Roush safe inside the center console, and I never really used it, so I don't know. I don't really miss it. It'd be nice to have if I did have something I wanted to lock in there, but I really don't miss it. So another thing that's kind of a wash. One more thing that's kind of a wash is the actual bed length. My older truck had a longer bed. I don't know, this one's like a 6-foot bed, I think, and my other one might have had a 6.5-foot bed. And I liked having the longer bed because, well, just one stupid example, and I went to haul one of my arcade games, a Pac-Man machine, and it would not. I had to leave the tailgate open and run a strap across it. And as far as being a useful, functional bed, I mean, you can haul quite a bit in there, but having that extra 6 inches, I think, really makes a difference. But on the other respect, this thing is a lot more easier to get into parking spots, and the turn radius is better with it. So I definitely like that. Like, my old truck was so big and long that it would hang out of parking spots, and this one you really don't have that problem with. So it's a little more user friendly in that respect, just having the shorter bed. I guess it depends on what you're doing with it, but I do miss having that longer bed sometimes. But it's also nice to be able to actually fit into a real parking, or, you know, a normal parking spot. Okay, now on to the things that I love about it. And I love having this Line-X bed liner. My old truck had that too. That's not really different, but I think that's pretty much a must. I love having that. It's so easy to just spray it out, and it looks brand new. It's awesome stuff. In general, I think this color is a lot easier to keep clean than my old truck, including the rims. Just the rims in general are easier, the design of them, compared to the 2017, and that is a Roush feature. However, I think I like the look of the 2017 Roush rims over these, but these are definitely easier to keep clean, and that is definitely a plus. Like, just cleaning those, you know, spokes out, it's better. This is just a 2017 versus 2023 comparison, but that giant screen, that thing's awesome. You can set that navigation up to take the whole screen up, or yeah, it's fantastic. I love having that big screen on there. That's really awesome. That is definitely a plus. Another thing I love are the Roush pedals. That is a Roush thing, and you know, it doesn't really affect the driving or anything. And as you can see, they're a little dirty, but when you get in and out, that's like one of the first things you notice, and it's just kind of cool. I don't know. I love those. Those are definitely very cool over the 2017, is having those Roush pedals. The headlights versus the 2017 are way better. They're just brighter and better, and they're just way better headlights. So much brighter and easier to see at night. And then another thing I love is when you're turning at night, it turns this light on, I believe, super bright, or maybe it turns on the actual fog light, but it lights up the whole side of like whatever you're turning into. It just lights everything up, and that's a really cool feature, I think. The tailgate is this one has, over my 2017, this one actually has the, let's see if we can do it here. This one has the tailgate assist on the key fob. So like if you're walking up to it and you want to get into the tailgate, you just hit the button twice and it goes down, which that's really cool. I think I've used that more than once. That's a cool feature for sure. My old truck, it had the tailgate assist on it where it would drop it slow like that, but it didn't have the feature where you could do it from the key fob. And then the active exhaust, which is this button right here, that makes things either louder or quieter. I gave a demonstration of that when I first got that. I do love that. That's awesome. When you're driving down the road and you know, on a longer trip or something, and you want to have a conversation with people in the vehicle, you can shut it up for a bit, and it really does make a huge difference. It makes it almost sound like a normal F-150. And I do love the red shocks. They stand out on a vehicle this color. I do like that. That's pretty cool. And somebody asked me about those tow hooks, and those are just aftermarket. They're silicone. They go over the original tow hooks. I think it's like towhooks.com or something like that sells those. They were like 25 bucks. But with the red shocks and those little red accents, I think it gives it a pretty cool appearance. And the final thing that I love about it is, and I really don't care about this, but it is cool, is I have had so many compliments on this thing. I'll be going to get gas or driving around town or, running in to get grocery, and somebody will stop me and be like, hey dude, that's an awesome truck. And I bet I get probably one of those a week, at least probably 2 a week. Just somebody just complimenting it. And it is a sharp truck, and it feels good when somebody compliments it. Just knowing that it's different and you don't see them every day, and that a car guy's going to appreciate it. And even though my other one was almost 6 years old, it still got compliments almost, probably not weekly, but probably monthly. I probably would get somebody to, give it the thumbs up or, say how cool they thought it was. And that was cool. But yeah, they are just cool looking trucks. So, and there's not many of them around. So anyways, that is my review of a 2023 Roush F-150. I think I mentioned it in the video that this one's built on the XLT package, and they do make them on the Lariat package as well, but those were, I don't know, another 10 grand or something. And I think the features that offered was like a complete digital dash. It might have had cooled seats. It had a couple, it was just like creature comfort stuff. And I'm like, I really don't care about any of that stuff. In fact, I like having the old school, like, tachometer and speedometer on here. So anyways, it's all just a preference of what you like and what you don't like. I think, and maybe I mentioned this in the first part of this video, is the 17 truck had a more, well, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like Jay Leno says in some of his videos, it had a more visceral experience, where this one has, lane assist and adaptive cruise control, and you don't feel like you're driving it. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I don't want to say it drives itself, but you don't feel as connected to the vehicle. I guess it would be a similar experience as driving a manual car versus an automatic car. Like, an automatic car does all the work for you, and you don't have to do too much thinking. Whereas this thing is similar to that. In the 17, while it still had many creature comforts and all that stuff, it was more like driving a manual car. You felt more connected to the road in it, and it's hard to describe. So if you're somebody that really loves feeling the vehicle like I do and driving it, and the 17 had a little bit of an edge over this thing, in my opinion. This one, it's got so much stuff on it that it just has a different feel to it in general. But I don't know if I like it better or worse, but definitely different. And that's all I can say about that. It's different. It's a little different. So anyways, I hope this video has helped you in a decision, or maybe you just like cool trucks. I don't know. But the reason I made it was, if you're on the fence whether you want to buy one of these versus a normal XLT or whatever, maybe you'll find this video and it'll help you in that decision, because I don't think I've ever seen somebody like actually review one of these things on YouTube. There's plenty of videos of dealerships and videos of people driving them and stuff, but I don't think I've ever heard somebody like give an honest, full-blown review of one. So 2023 Avalanche Gray Roush F-150. This one is not supercharged. It's the regular natural aspiration. It does have a cold air intake on it. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped.